Hi there, lovelies. I'm Rhonda Crimes. I'm a life and leadership coach supporting everyday people just like you to reflect and rework your everyday stories so you can step into the everyday leadership of your families and communities and create compelling, meaningful and fruitful lives every day. And today, let's talk about motivation. And straight off the bat, I'm going into the definition. Motivation is a noun, and it's a reason or reasons for acting or behaving in a particular way. Sounds pretty straightforward, right? So, to give some context for this chat, I shared on my Tuesday Live that I'd come to recognise that I wasn't feeling as healthy and vital as I was a year ago. I did some digging on the previous weekend in an online workshop around my values in the context of my health and vitality. I invite you to check out that video on my Facebook page. The link is in the post. And just to make sure you understand what I'm talking about, values are the filters we run everything through to determine the level of commitment of time, money, or energy we make. We do it unconsciously and consciously. Sometimes what we think is important, though, doesn't seem to be getting much of a look in, or we're getting inconsistent results. So my healthy eating is like that. I seem to be getting more and more inconsistent with what I know optimizes my nutrition and what fuel source is best for my body and my mind. Now, I know this at an intellectual level. I know I feel better when I'm following that protocol. So why am I not able to stick with it? Why isn't this experiential knowledge enough to keep me eating what I know is best for me? If I know this, then surely that is enough motivation to keep going consistently. No, it's not. I'm living proof. I know white fluffy bread triggers my psoriasis and clogs my mucous membranes. But still, I've been having toast almost every morning for weeks now. So what is the answer? Motivation is a two-sided coin. There's toward motivation and away motivation. Toward motivation are the reasons that pull us toward an outcome or experience. Some say it's toward pleasure. Away motivation are the reasons we use to repel or keep away from an outcome or experience, like staying away from pain. Tony Robbins states simply, all human behaviour revolves around the urge to gain pleasure or avoid pain. You pull away from a lighted match in order to avoid the pain of burning your hand. You sit and watch a beautiful sunset because you get pleasure from it, from the glorious celestial show as the day glides into night. Some people walk because they get pleasure from the exercise it provides. Others choose to walk because they are scared of seizing up if they don't keep moving. Some people love the thrill of adventure, so they are pulled towards the experiences. Others are fearful of misadventure, so they take away action from those experiences. So again, sounds self-explanatory, but what I have come to understand is that away from motivation actually gives us inconsistent results. I became consciously aware that my eating is a classic example of this. Some of my strongest motivations are centered around preventing Alzheimer's disease, not wasting food, that my skin will be clearer and I won't get psoriasis again, not cooking more than one evening meal. I don't want to feel uncomfortable in my skin. I don't want to impose my eating habits onto my family who don't suffer the same as I do for their food choices. And if I can't do it properly, there's no point doing it at all. So, to use one of those as an example, I don't want to feel uncomfortable in my skin, works like a treat for me to get to the point where I am no longer feeling uncomfortable. But then the motivation falls away and I fall off the healthy eating wagon until I'm feeling uncomfortable again, and then the motivation kicks back in. Can you see how that impacts so many life areas? I don't want to be broke. So we save as much as we can until we've got that little bit left over, and then we aren't broke anymore. So we start to reward ourselves for the great work and maybe go on a spending spree until suddenly we're broke again. Another, I never want to be rejected again. So in the next relationship, we avoid the vulnerability of being our true selves. But over time, the other person gets tired of this disingenuous facade and moves on. And we end up feeling rejected. So if you aren't achieving the results you want with any consistency, I invite you to spend some time thinking why you want those results, why you want the experiences or outcomes, and why are they important for you? And then really listen to what you tell yourself. Quite literally ask, why is this important to me? And then close your eyes and really feel into the answers that come forward. Then take a best guess using your unconscious knowing and decide if it's more towards motivation or away from motivation. Also importantly, to recognise that this is not the way it has to be all the time. You don't have to keep being like this. You can take those away from reasons or statements and flip them to become toward motivations. So I have started flipping my away statements. For example, I want to eat colourful, nutritionally dense fresh foods. I want to keep my skin smooth, soft and bright. Can you see that this feels like I'm heading in a direction? I'm aiming for something rewarding, and if I get knocked off course, I can self-correct back to that heading. I want you to think of motivation a bit like pilots flying a plane heading toward an airport. They may need to deviate from their original flight path due to turbulence or inclement weather, but then they course correct and continue heading towards the airport. Now, imagine if those pilots' only motivation was to just leave the departure terminal. Where would they go? How stressful would that flight be? And how inconsistent would those results be? And would you want to be on that plane? I really encourage you to keep working on finding out what is most important to you, and then use the information you're telling yourself to keep moving forward toward those results, your true colours. I hope this has helped for you to identify what might be keeping you on the roller coaster of inconsistency. I also want to take this time to remind you that you can still get the Forming Dreams PDF that I created using the One of Many 8-step framework to help guide you towards revealing and forming your dreams. If it's important for you, you deserve to make it happen. The link for that is also in this post. I want to thank you for taking the time to watch, and I hope you got value. Please remember, if your now is not the picture that you've painted for yourself and you'd like any help on this discovery path, or maybe something completely different that you intuitively know or feel isn't letting your true colours shine through, then please do get in touch. You can do it really easily. Just leave me a comment, send me a private message, drop me an email, or pop over to my Calendly online diary using the link I've also provided in the post, and we can set up an obligation-free curiosity call and see if we're a good fit for each other. Much love until next time.